headed up to do some fishing. And I don't know, kind of going stir crazy a little bit. I had a weird experience the other night. A couple nights ago, I had a weird anxiety, panic attack sort of thing, and I had a few of those since I had my accident. Recovering from my accident, gunshot, and all of that. So while I was recovering, I struggled quite a bit, and I would sometimes wake up in a panic. And when it happened, it was crazy. I mean, the only thing that I can compare it to was maybe the kind of pain like I had when passing a kidney stone. There's no getting away from it, and it's like it hurts so bad that you know something is seriously wrong, but there's not a thing you can do about it, and so it's like you know it's not going to go away. And so that's kind of how it ended up being a situation where I was just freaking out. And so pain turned into anxiety while I was recovering from that gunshot wound. But I don't know. So I had one of these anxiety attacks that was kind of like that 2 nights ago. It was really just nuts. But there had been so many things that have been going on lately. And I can't believe this. Like, Charlie Kirk shot, and we used to live like half a mile away from that spot right there, Utah Valley University. And I have a good friend of mine that I was talking to on Saturday, and he lives right in that same spot, about a half a mile from where it happened. I can't believe it. And we were just talking. Dude, and I keep trying to get this guy to go fishing, and he's, oh man, as skill goes, he's a fisherman with experience and skill far beyond my own. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've been fortunate enough to live in an area where I can fish often and some really good spots. And a couple years ago, I had a good friend take me out and show me, and kind of helped me figure out that I really enjoyed being up here and fishing. And it was right around the time when I kind of needed to figure out ways to have fun and to enjoy myself, things that I like doing. So I sometimes struggle to get out of the house and force myself to have fun, which sounds really stupid because you'd think that somebody with a history of addiction or, you know, issues with compulsion and, I don't know, the quick fix, seeking pleasure and that sort of thing. Why, if that's my issue, or if I've had those problems in the past, if that's my nature, then why is it that I can isolate and make myself more miserable doing nothing and not doing these things when all I really have to do is just kind of walk out. It's right out my front door pretty much. I mean, it's not really out my front door, but it's close enough that it's, you know, I can fish and do these things often until it gets cold enough that I can't anymore. But I don't know, it just seems kind of silly to me that without even thinking about it, I can isolate and do nothing, and then I'm struggling, and I find out that I'm, you know, in a freaking panic the way that I was several years back, in the worst pain that I've ever experienced in my life. But and it's stupid because at the time it's like the pain wasn't the worst thing. I had dealt with pain before, and the pain was horrible. Don't get me wrong. It was just that there was no escaping it. There was no getting away from it. I had no other option than just to sit there with the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. It sounds silly, but that's, looking back and in hindsight and from a very high level, that's probably why it was as bad as it felt. But I don't know. Maybe not. But here I am in, you know, the north end of Utah County, not quite Salt Lake, but these beautiful, beautiful spots where I can fish. And, you know, sure, I've got a cheap little inflatable boat. I mean, it's not cheap, it was expensive, but it's a boat that fits in my car, a little 3-door Hyundai, and, you know, I can inflate it in 5 minutes and be out on the water with a couple fishing poles and lures, bait, tackle, whatever. And I can be out there just enjoying it and having fun. I don't know. I've just been contemplating and trying to make sense of why is it that I isolate the way that I do. And when I get stuck in that spot where I'm trying to figure out why I'm doing the things I'm doing or why I feel the way I feel, I go back to recent events and I look back at, like, you know, things like my divorce and several years back, all these things that have happened, things that happened in 2015. Just, I'll pick one event or circumstance or situation from my past and I'm like, okay, I need to do something about that. And the truth, I don't need to do shit. I don't need to do anything about my past. The stuff within my control is now, this moment, what I'm doing, what I choose now at this moment. And so I struggle with that so much because I feel like, okay, I just need to clear the air, and if I get this off my chest and talk to people and people that have wronged me, and I just need to speak my piece, which is so stupid. I really don't. Nobody needs to hear what I have to say. It's not going to make my life any better. I know how I feel. I mean, I've been with me the whole time, so I know how I felt when those things happened. I know how I felt over the past few years as I tried to, you know, move on from certain situations. So, I don't know. I'm like not quite 50 years old. I am a bachelor again. And I don't know. I'm struggling with all the feels. Fishing helps make me feel better. And I also feel better when I'm around people that I care about. The fact that the people that I care about, you know, that circle of people changed a few years back, and so maybe it's just that it still feels new and still feels different, and I'm still kind of adjusting. Maybe, I don't know. But this Charlie Kirk thing, I did not agree with a lot of what dude said. But I loved watching his videos and his candor with people, and he would argue with people, but it was like, okay, we can disagree, but it's like you don't need to die because we disagree. It's the stupidest thing. And I don't know. I can't imagine something like a political view, having a disagreement with somebody that you've never even met because you saw something on social media or online or watched the news, or yeah, that dude needs to go. I mean, I can't think of many people that I can think of that, in my mind, their end, unaliving these people was the right thing to do. I mean, I can think of a lot of people that was probably accurate, though, for people like Hitler, or I don't know. But I don't know. I struggle with so many thoughts. Brain is always firing, and my head keeps getting filled with ideas, and some of those ideas are just funny ideas about the world. But I sure do love fishing, and I love Utah, and I didn't want to love Utah, but it's so beautiful up here that everything's turning these amazing colors up here. We've got red and yellows up in the mountains. Oh man. And I remember from the last 3 years coming up here and driving in the mountains. Some of the mountains just turn this pretty beautiful shade of yellow. And it's, I don't know, I can't explain it, how beautiful it is up here, but I also know that, I don't know. Half the time I don't know what to do with myself because I feel like the feelings that I have are so overwhelming that I just can't function, which it's not true, because I'm going to function anyway. I'm going to move on from whatever it is that I'm dealing with. lot of these things that frustrate me to no end are not going to kill me. So, what's the big deal? But it's funny when you're in the depths of anxiety and panic and pain, and it's I don't know, when I'm in that spot, I know that it's hard for me to get out of it and gain perspective, and so sometimes I need to do something pretty dramatic to get me out of it. And if I was ever one to smoke crack, which I've never done, strangely enough, that would be one of those things. But sure did love my opioids. But this fishing stuff, I don't know. I'm building a tool chest of things that I can do that make me happy. Things that I can do that don't involve anybody else but myself. At the same time, I'm in a world, on a planet that's full of other people. And so I'm bound to bump into another person sooner or later. So I just need to get myself healthy and make sure that I'm not doing harm to myself or harm to other people, and keep on not smoking crack, I guess. But I'm going to have a conversation with my little fishy friends up at 10,000 feet today, and they're going to tell me, "Dammit Dave." And I'll say yes, because that's my name. Dude, what is your problem? You think you got issues, man? We live underwater in the dark. I don't know what they say. They say it in their weird fish language. So I pull them out of the water and they're like, "I can't breathe," and that's all I can hear them say. So I try to help them out and get them back to the water as soon as I can. Although last time I was up here, I was thinking, man, I would like to eat some of these fish, which might end up being a thing one of these days, but not today. Today's just for fishing. Today is just for driving and breathing and appreciating the beauty and eating good food, which, well, I stopped at 7-Eleven and got a chicken skewer. It's not all that good, but something about driving up here and stopping at that 7-Eleven and then driving up to where there's no cell phone signal, no data. I love it. It's beautiful up here. So, I don't know. Rocking and rolling. Hoping that I can get some good pictures, get some good fishing, and keep myself healthy, and I don't know. I see and sense some joy in my future. It's already coming at me, and I feel it. I can feel that joy already. And it kind of brings a tear to my eye. It really does. So, man, thank you, universe, for being this beautiful. For kicking my ass in a way that helps me recognize when I'm not miserable. Gosh, I love it up here.